Hi, my name is Herman Fourie. I'm the product manager here at Huawei on the residential Power M solutions. Today I will take you through the technical advantages of the product, of where I'm going to start today on the modular approach. Overview, modular design. The Power M modular design in the single stack battery is capable of providing 2.5 kilowatt of output power due to the 0.5C rating. The storage is 5 kilowatt hour. In the double stack 2 battery configuration, the unit can provide 5 kilowatt of output power with a storage of up to 10 kilowatt hour. The triple stack 3 battery configuration, the unit is capable of providing 5 kilowatt of output power with a storage of up to 15 kilowatt hour. You can clearly see the modular approach that's available in these products. The unit can also be expanded in 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt and 15 kilowatt output power. In the single tower configuration, the 5 kilowatt output power is capable of providing up to 15 kilowatt hour of storage. In the double tower configuration, the unit is capable of providing 10 kilowatt of output power with a storage of 30 kilowatt hour. In the triple power configuration, the output power is 15 kilowatt with a storage of 45 kilowatt hour. Therefore, the maximum battery energy storage system can be increased from 5 kilowatt hour to a maximum of 45 kilowatt hour in a backup parallel off-grid scenario. Installation steps. The installation steps of our product is divided basically into 5 important subcategories or steps. Unbox and check supplied items. Understand each component and where it will be used. Use template for mounting battery modules and power modules. Mount the unit. Connect all communication cables, power cables and earthing cables. The 4th step will be obviously to download the Fusion Solar app. You'll be using the Fusion Solar app to do commissioning of your system and to monitor the working of the system at a later stage. Installation. Recommended spacing between inverters. The Power M ingress protection is IP65. For this reason, there are no external fans. Please ensure that the correct spacing distance is adhered to. In the single installation configuration, one will note that a clearance of at least 500 mm is needed and 25 mm from the wall. If more than 2 units are installed, please adhere to at least 800 mm spacing between the 2 power modules and 25 mm from the wall. Installation template for mounting the inverter. Cut the marking out template along the dotted line. Install the mounting base. Mark the mounting holes for the battery modules. Drill holes and install the expansion bolts. Due to the high center of gravity of the product, it is essential that you make use of the mounting roll bolts that's provided with the product. Ensure that it's fast and securely mounted to a solid structure, adhering to water level as well as making it standing flat on a steady surface. Installation, bonding of the inverter. The Power M unit will be bonded to earth. The bonding wires will be 4 to 6 square millimeters. Each component will be bonded to earth. Complete product will be centrally bonded to a common ground bar. How to set up. Connection of batteries in parallel. Battery cables. Step 1. Use wrench to remove glands from cascading terminals. Step 2. Install battery cables between batteries. Battery communication cable. Step 1. Remove gland from battery communication terminal. Step 2. Remove the locking cap. Step 3. Install the communication cables. Reinstall the waterproof rubber plug. Install communication cable for battery modules in sequence. Connections of batteries. Each battery do have a DC to DC converter. Therefore, pay attention about the risk and the safety. Understand of how to connect. Make sure of the cable routing and trunking. Use of made-up cables are not allowed. NC4 type connectors must be used, that is marked blue. The DC switch does not control the battery. MC4 connectors can be removed by making use of the special tool that is provided by the product itself. Ensure that if you remove the watertight plugs, that you make a watertight seal once connecting the MC4 connectors of the parallel connected batteries. Connection of batteries and the communication cable. Ensure watertight connections. Make use of an in and out solution that's inside the connection gland. Make use of the cable brackets and use the supplied cables. Connection of units connected in parallel. It's important to note that there's two communication cables, and remember to change the dip switches. Units connected in parallel needs to communicate with each other. Remember to install built-out resistors at the first and last modules. The built-out resistors are delivered with the product. The length of the communication cable cannot exceed 3 meters. The method of the installation is the same as the connection of the battery cable communication links. Connection of parallel systems on FE port. Connection of additional network cables between master, slave 1 and slave 2 is necessary. Take note of FE2 from master to FE1 slave 1 and FE2 slave 1 to FE1 slave 2. Please pay attention of the dip switch settings, as the unit will not be able to communicate correctly if it's not done properly. The master must be set on pin 1 and the remaining pins of the dip switch must be off. Slave 1, if you've got one parallel connected system, will be pin 2 on, the rest of the pins off. In slave 2 configuration, for 3 parallel connected units, pin 3 will be on and the rest of the dip switches will be off. Output AC cables to load. Input and output cables for AC must be done as per SAN specification. There are header plugs for the input and output. Use bootlace crimp ferrules. From the backup output terminal, from each inverter, use a high quality outdoor copper wire, live neutral power earth of at least 4 to 6 square millimeters. Each power M will feed via a 30 amp breaker into a combiner box. The backup output circuit breakers will be connected in parallel to the AC load via SAN specification with its own dedicated earth leakage device. Output capacity of the power M is capable to exceed 30 amps. Therefore, parallel connected power M devices can reach as high as 90 amps when it is connected in parallel. Therefore, the supply cable that will be supplying the power M as well as the output cable will be at least a 25 square millimeter high quality 3-core copper cable. Input cables from AC grid, utility side. Combiner box to earth will be with at least a 25 square millimeter copper wire with a dedicated earth spike and bonded to the existing earth system. In the event that there is a floating voltage, the power M can be permanently bonded to ground. Each supply cable to each power M must be of 4 to 6 square millimeters with a live, neutral and power earth of a 3-core high quality outdoor cable. Each power M will be supplied via a separate 40 amp circuit breaker. The main supply to the parallel box will be 25 square millimeter of a high quality outdoor copper cable, live, neutral and power earth. Compression glands of the power M. On the side of the power M there's a service latch. Please ensure that you do make use of the right compression glands in order to ensure a watertight seal between the entering cables into the product. Routing of AC cables, FE cables and genset cables must be done as per picture. Bonding of all units with 4 to 6 square millimeter must be done prior turning on any AC power. Unit must be properly secured and installed as per suggested installation steps. AC input and output cable. Power cables connected to the power M. Before installing an AC input cable, ensure that the system AC input switch upstream are turned off. Lock out and tag out with a prominent label. The supply cable to the Power M will be a 4 to 6 square millimeter cable. It will be a high quality external cable with live neutron power earth. The AC input breaker to the Power M will be a 40 amp. The AC output breaker will be a 30 amp breaker. The product is supplied with boot-lace ferrule crimps. The boot-lace ferrule crimps will be tightened into the AC connector input and output terminals. You basically slide the cover open, insert the cables and secure it properly. The AC output as well as the input terminal blocks is fast disconnect and connect cables and can therefore easily be removed in the event of servicing the unit. Please pay attention on the positioning of the input as well as the output cables. The input and output cable headers are keyed and can therefore not be interconnected in wrong positions. DC input cables that is connected to the Power M. The PV input cable must be between 4 to 6 square millimeters. The DC input voltage is between 85 to 435 volt DC. MPPT voltage between 90 and 420 volt DC. There's one MPPT on the inverter itself. The maximum MPPT capacity of 5.5 kilowatt must be adhered to. There's 2 PV branches and the maximum input current is 15 amp into each branch, therefore allowing up to 50 amp in the combined configuration. The maximum short circuit is 18 amps. The Power M is also capable of accepting optimizers in order to maximize PV yield that's available from shaded roof structures. The maximum PV optimizers that can be connected is 8 pieces. DC input cables and suggested single line diagram. The PV input cables that is 4 to 6 square millimeters can be directly connected to the Power M. If external PV fuses and SPD are required, please make use of the single line diagram as presented. Direct connection of PV into the Power M is allowable as full protection is also built into the product. Important steps on the procedure of commissioning the Power M. The communication ensure that the IP address used is 119.8.160.213. In parallel systems, make sure that you made use of 2 communication links. Remember to set the dip switches. Commissioning the master alone first, without any other units connected. Commission each Power M separately. There are different power plans available. Please set the correct as per customer needs. Charging and discharging. Set to correct value in setup. Reset can be done by pressing the reset button 4 times in 1 second presses. Frequently asked questions. Problem: Power M failing to turn on. Reason: customer do not hold down power button long enough. Resolution: hold down red power button until you hear a prominent click of relays activating. Unable to scan QR code in order to link inverter to internet. The reasons can be the system is still connected to the Power M directly. During commissioning, the IP address was not selected. Resolution: ensure you have terminated the direct link to the Power M and reconnected to the external access point. Please check if the IP address 119.8.160.213 and port 31220 were used during linking of the inverter under the commissioning network. Forgot username and password. Reason: unable to log into the system. Resolution: press reset button 4 times within 1 second intervals. The inverter will reboot after 1 minute. Advantages for the installer: faster installation, low failure rate, minimum resources per installation is needed, improved customer experience, increased arsenal of product variation. We will also be introducing a SPIF program that will basically reward you as our installer that is making use of our product. Competitive margins, fewer recalls to site due to the higher quality product, and due to the scalability, you are also now capable as an installer to offer a much broader and wider product range for your end customers. The modular, fanless, sleek design of the Power M make it a unique product to be used for your next installation. My name is Herman, and thank you again for listening at this presentation of the Power M. Thank you.